Fed up with the rat race? Can't stop fantasising about telling the boss you're quitting work for a never-ending holiday? Well, dream no more. Join the thousands of other Australians who are actually doing it. And you don't have to be grey to enjoy this nomadic adventure. More and more young families are packing up their lives in the city and choosing the great escape. What could possibly go wrong? Imagine waking up to uninterrupted ocean views, not just while you're on holidays, but every day of your life.
It's about living your life while you're still young enough to be able to enjoy it, showing our children that there's more to life than just the 9 to 5.
It sounds deliciously carefree.
Follow the sun.
When you know that you're heading out to sea, the next adventure is beginning, what's that like for you?
Well, pretty exhilarating.
But for Nick and Lindy Atkinson and their 2 girls, Lily 11 and Sayuri 9, on the water for 6 years, it's now their way of life.
I think it's important to show the girls not to be afraid, to take a risk, try something that maybe isn't what everybody else thinks is the right thing. If it feels like it's right for you, then give it a go, and what's the worst that could happen?
Well, it's not always smooth sailing. And giving it all up to sail around the world comes at a price.
Okay, that's it. Ready
Nick
to
and
go.
Lindy sold their spacious home in Port Douglas 6 years ago to pack themselves and their reduced belongings into a 40-foot catamaran.
Okay, so this is our side of the boat.
Segregated living.
Yes, there's heaps of space on these boats, heaps of headroom.
Can I just tell you, this is not heaps of space? This is not. But who needs a big bedroom when your backyard is the ocean? And moments like this,
She's had handfuls of them, look at it. Like a scary movie.
playing with crabs on Whitehaven Beach, make it all worthwhile.
Oh, that was really cool. Like, we caught them and they were like scoundering around, like running away from us, and we were just like running on top of them.
Lily and Sayuri have also seen whales, dolphins and snorkeled on the Great Barrier Reef. Life lessons more memorable than any classroom. Is it about the dream, about the adventure, or is it about fleeing something?
We're not escaping as such, we're just trying to make the most of it. My mum got sick when she was quite young and passed away young, and that was enough to spur me on.
We're sort of running away from what society expects of families too. You work.
You have the house, you...
Either mum stays at home or works, kids goes to daycare. It all adds up.
In their early 30s, Zach Tarsoli and fiancée Katie Rusker are doing what their parents' generation would never have considered, hitting the road.
Yes, someone in.
Okay, copy me.
For the past year, they've been planning and saving for their new life with their children Xavier 4 and Joss 2. So whose idea was it?
Zach's always wanted to travel. He's a traveller, and I think it was a documentary we saw on TV that made me started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, we could do that. Why not us?
That's all we talk about now, is just the adventure.
In order to make their dream a reality, Zach, who has been a construction worker for 11 years, quit his Melbourne job,
It will give you complete access to all of your accounts. Even
and Katie has taken leave without pay from the Commonwealth Bank, where she's been behind a desk for 9 years.
The last 12 months has been pretty intense on putting money towards every aspect of it all.
Yeah, getting set up, caravan, ute, they're not cheap.
How have you kitted it out for the trip?
So we've got a toolbox in here.
In fact, it's cost Katie and Zach $90,000 to get set up.
Fishing rod holder. And then around here we've got jerry cans for diesel. We might not be able to refill.
And they've budgeted $50,000 to travel for a year.
Beer fridge. I haven't got much space, so the essentials had to go in.
Let's put these here,
Yeah,
just for the moment, yeah.
And Katie has to squeeze everything else into a space the size of a bedroom. And how excited are you about using that bathroom for the next 12 months?
Yeah, not so much. Not so much. That's probably the least exciting thing about this whole adventure is the bathroom space.
Mine can.
Yeah, there he goes.
Along the way, there'll have to be plenty of patience and pit stops, with their toddler daughter almost out of nappies.
How do you entertain two young children on long drives like that?
Our kids love books.
Yeah, they read a lot.
We're teaching our eldest I Spy at the moment. He's getting there with that.
Yeah.
So
I'm counting up about 10 minutes. And you've got hours and hours of driving ahead of you.
maybe.
Finnegan?
A need for sedatives or otherwise, nothing will dissuade this adventurous family.
Katie and Zach are about to head off with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. What advice would you give them?
Have fun. Good luck. Come on, go. We're going to be late for school.
Former journalist Sonia Lear and her partner, Remy Pham, found out the hard way that dreams don't always come true. Like Zach and Katie, they embarked on a lap of the map when their twin boys, Morgan and Lucas, were 1 and their daughter, Juliet, was 3.
We had this crazy idea that we would go travelling around Australia because I just wanted to go travelling. I was bored, bored housewife in Melbourne. I'd given up my career. I was running away. I don't know about you.
No, I was going on an adventure.
Remy had decided he wanted to quit his job as an aeronautical engineer to start a pizza business.
I found these 1960s vintage Airstreams in America, so somehow convinced him that we should go on this great road trip with the kids and we would sell pizza and would fund this amazing adventure together.
An amazing adventure with 3 kids under the age of 3.
They just were too small. Who goes travelling with one-year-old kids? It's just insane. I don't know what we were thinking.
Yeah, why didn't you think that through more, do you think?
We just thought it was the out, that it was the answer to all the problems.
And so, after 2 years of planning and dreaming, the family left a cold Melbourne winter in 2012 to follow the sun, heading right through the Red Centre.
We're almost there, we're just going to the rock, okay? And then you can get out. As soon as the kids got in it for the first time, my stomach sank and I felt like this is the biggest mistake of our life. The twins were screaming, they felt like they were in a prison and they were like banging on the front door saying, out, out! They knew about 2 words. One of them was out of the car, out of the caravan. And I just thought, how the hell are we going to live in this thing for a year?
Let's say the design was not very childproof.
No. Where did you get the knife?
At that point in time, the twins were just not sleeping.
Being on the road, did that make it more difficult to deal with?
I think for me, I wasn't in the house and I wasn't stuck with the kids on my own. So it was a really wonderful thing in some ways. But then you still took it with you. Everything that you had at home, all the shit that you have to deal with, and you're in a tin can.
Can you remember a high point? What was the best part of it?
Stopping in a caravan park in Alice Springs, and there's red soil everywhere, and you put a blanket down and start playing Legos in the middle of the red sand, and then you look around, you breathe, and it was nice.
Isn't that the best view for breastfeeding?
I'm so free, Mom.
So they're looking at the view.
When Nick and Lindy set their daydreams into action 6 years ago, their girls were 3 and 5, preschool and school age. Instead, they're being unschooled, which means neither spends time in a conventional classroom, but they're learning all the time.
How big a challenge has the girls' education been for you in making the decision to pursue your dream in this way?
It's a huge responsibility and we don't take it lightly. So we're always looking for ways to educate them that don't feel like just sitting down with the books. We like to get them to learn more in life. There you go, you remember how to do that.
In order to fund their dream lifestyle, Lindy keeps their budget at a frugal $20,000 a year. And Nick picks up work on boats when he can.
Obviously, you're living in the moment right now, but do you have moments where you think about superannuation? Do you panic about that sort of stuff?
Sure, yeah, I mean, it's something we always live in fear of. We don't know how much it's going to cost to live in 10 or 20 years' time. So, we can sit around and worry about it or get out there and just live our life.
while the Atkinson family is happy to dodge real life. The reality of life on the road for Sonia and Remy, with unhappy children and nowhere to hide, became more thorny than rosy.
I mean, the great aim was to spend more time together. How did that work for you?
I don't think we really liked each other on that road trip.
Yeah, it was stressful. Just the sleep deprivation, you know, in other countries they use that as a torture, except that we haven't done nothing. So.
But they persisted, heading further north until they drove straight into a severe case of gastro.
You've had a night with no sleep dealing with babies who are just constantly vomiting or pooing, and then the next day I got it. So it was just the last straw for me.
Hard.
So how long did the brand new life last for?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, it was the gastro that got me, basically. That was the end. I was like, I'm done. I'm flying back to Melbourne.
That was 4 years ago, and the Airstream has been parked in their backyard, gathering dust ever since.
Stop, Muggy, get off here! That's the copy house.
But surprisingly, the allure of escaping lives on.
My mum keeps saying, why don't you sell it? It's sitting in the backyard. And I'm like, no way, that's our dream. We still want to do it. Call us masochists or something. But yeah, we definitely want to try again.
The Atkinson family adventure goes on, and they can't imagine living in a house again anytime soon.
Sometimes I feel like I want to live in a house, and then I think, oh my gosh, I'm living on a boat.
It's
So
the
many
only chance
people
you
that
can
live
get.
in a house would want to live on a boat, and I'm living there.
It's like,
You're very lucky, is what you're saying.
yeah.
We don't see it stopping.
Yeah, you don't have an end date in time.
Well, what happens with the girls as they grow older? We'll bite that part of the elephant when we come to it.
Don't sweat the small things.
That's our motto. Yeah, it doesn't work every day, but it's our motto, I think, for the trip. Don't sweat the small stuff.
And as for Katie and Zach, 8 weeks into their road trip, we caught up with them, sun-kissed and relaxed in Byron Bay. They're still talking to each other, the kids have so far survived, and they're the latest converts to running away and living the dream.
Just do it, make it happen, find a way to get there. And if it's not 12 months or longer, just 3 months, 2 months, somewhere in your favourite spot or somewhere you've never been, just do it. Definitely worth it.
Growing up to 8 metres long, dwarf minke whales might be incongruously named, but there's no doubt about their magnificence. They're also rather mysterious animals, except for once a year, when they gather at a remote spot off the coast of far north Queensland for a bit of, well, action. And it seems that having a whale of a time with each other lessens their inhibitions and arouses their curiosity about us. For marine biologists, it's an incredible opportunity to learn about these beautiful creatures that we didn't even know existed until just a few decades ago. On the outer edge of our continent, where the Great Barrier Reef meets the deep ocean, a human offering is taking place. The swimmers are bait, minke bait, hanging off a rope to attract this incredible animal. The dwarf minke whale.
They may be called dwarf minke whales, but they're not small. The longest ever measured was 7.8 metres.
What's the first thing you see when they approach you in the water?
I think it's that white spot, the shoulder blaze, which is unique to the dwarf minkies, and you see that shining out of the blue, and then they glide towards you serenely and silently and come up and look at you. And it's an amazing experience.
Marine biologist Dr. Alistair Birtles has well and truly earned his nickname, Professor Minky. He has spent more than 2,000 hours in the water with them. You've been studying them now for what?
25 years.
Do they still take your breath away?
Totally.
The incredible thing about dwarf minke whales is that no one knew they even existed until the 1980s. So for scientists, it really presented a unique opportunity to start studying an animal from scratch. That's a tough job, but what's made it easier is that here on the Great Barrier Reef, these whales actually seek out human company for a few months every year. Does any other creature on Earth do that?
As far as we know, there is nothing like this on Earth, and these encounters are unique. We need people looking in all directions, so we need somebody looking out to port and somebody to starboard. So,
where was it first spotted?
It was to the northwest, and it was only 100 metres away.
Alistair Birtles has brought us and scientists from James Cook University to Minke Central, Ribbon Reef number 10 in the northern sector of the Great Barrier Reef, 220 kilometres northeast of Cairns. Once a whale is spotted, it's time to move.
Naomi, we just saw one 30 metres away. Maybe two whales. She's got one.
She's got it.
She got two or three? She's got three.
She's got three whales. Dr. Birtles believes the minkies come here to find a partner, and it's their natural curiosity that draws them to us.
I think when they see curious things like us in the water and so on, that they come for a better look, and then a better look, and a better look, and they are very, very curious. These encounters only happen because they come up to us. You can't chase after them. We don't use any inducement at all.
What's your last minute advice, Alistair?
Patience and enjoy. Basically, these have been fairly wary whales, but the girls have just signalled three whales, so they've just had three go through underwater. So, again,
Twice they've come through now.
Twice, two passes in the last 3 minutes.
Let's do this. I'll see you in there.
Yep.
It's deep, and the minkies can come from any direction. But as with any wildlife encounter, there is no guarantee.
Ali's coming back, I think.
So I was in the water for about 25 minutes. We know that there are whales nearby, but I'm clearly not very good minke bait because I didn't see them. So what happened? I didn't see any whales.
Well, not very interactive. They've been off on minke business. You know, it's kind of reassuring that they're not completely obsessed with us and that they go off and do their thing. I think sometimes, but it makes their visits, when they do bless us with their presence, is even more special.
With minke whales, patience really is a virtue. And so we wait for a new day, and with it come the whales. The minkies are everywhere, so we waste no time getting into the water to observe these little-known mammals. Suzanne Hillcoat is a PhD student from Canada. Look where we are. Does it get any better than this? It's not a bad office, I must admit. Using this stereo camera device, Suzanne is recording measurements of the whales and their behaviour with divers and each other.
I'd like to see the differences in behaviour by life history stage. So, for example, are juvenile females acting differently than adult males? Those types of things.
There seems to be far more that we don't know than what we do.
And with every one question we answer, it seems to be like weeds, 5 more pops up in its place. So it's very much a continuing process.
And it's this mystery of the minkies that can keep Dr. Alistair Birtles in the water for up to 11 hours at a time. He takes his position at the end of the line, photographing, sketching, and taking notes on plastic paper.
Every day, every week brings new discoveries.
The Minke Whale Project has started collecting shed skin samples for DNA testing. And it was only recently that satellite tagging revealed how far these whales travel.
And so we tracked them down the east coast of Australia, this immense migration journey, across Bass Strait, around Tasmania, and then they jump off south-southwest deep into the Southern Ocean and down to the subantarctic.
That's a big swim.
It is. It's a huge journey. It's the same journey that the humpbacks make, and the humpback migration is regarded as the greatest marine mammal migration journey on Earth. And here are these little minkies doing the same journey.
Do you worry about them when they leave the calm and protected waters of North Queensland?
I do.
For Alistair, it's not only a scientific concern, it's a personal one. He has formed some deep attachments to these whales, particularly this female called Bento for her bent dorsal fin, who he swam with for 9 years in a row.
And then I didn't see her last year, and I was very sad and quite concerned and so on. And then this year, I've seen her 3 times, and I surfed with her for about 2 hours on one rough encounter where we were both gliding down the waves. So it's been very special, and she's looking great.
The population of dwarf minke whales isn't yet known, but it's estimated between 500 to 800 of them interact with humans here each year. And today, they turn it on.
"16 belly presentations, 18 vocalizations.
And by vocal, is that when they're singing?
That's the Star Wars noise.
It does sound like that, doesn't it?
Absolutely, like an electric guitar.
It's like Beethoven's Fifth, played on electric guitar. So it sort of goes da-da-da-dang. And sometimes when they're close, it really reverberates through your bodies. Da-da-da-dang.
The call of the minke has always been one of the great unknowns. Which whales make it, and why? But on this trip, Alistair gets the best evidence yet, that it's the male seeking a mate.
The great thing about yesterday for me was the fact that it was, in many ways, the culmination of 20 years of understanding about the acoustics of the whale.
Sometimes it takes that long to get your answer.
Yeah.
Over 3 days, we had encounters with 30 dwarf minke whales. They only visit here and act like this for 2 months each winter. The presence of scientists and tourists seems to have no impact. It really is a magical experience.
Well, that was just stunning. They are a beautiful animal. They are so serene to see in the water. And there were 3, and they initially started circling us quite widely, and then that circle just got tighter and tighter. And then one of them actually swam directly beneath me, about 3 metres below. It was just so extraordinary. They're so gentle, they're so calm in the water. I want to go in again. That's where you're happiest, isn't it, out there?
I'm very happy there. It's so interesting. There are so many things in the ocean that we just don't understand, and so it's like a wonderful puzzle that you can keep nibbling away at and finding out a little bit more each year. And the longer the time goes by, the richer the stories become.
How many pieces of that puzzle are still missing?
Oh, most, I think.
Welcome back. How many times have you wondered if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Well, I think I've just found the answer. It's a Greek island called Hegarty, a magical place where people live longer than anyone else on the planet. They also have lower rates of cancer and heart disease and almost no dementia. So how can so many Hegarians live to be 100 and still tend their olive trees, drink lots of red wine and dance the night away? Finding the answer was going to be tough, but someone had to do it. There's something about Hegarty. Yes, it has the same picture postcard beauty as other Greek islands, but there's something else going on here. Perhaps it's the food. Perhaps it's the wine.
So cheers. Cheers. And welcome. Thank you. I feel younger already.
But whether it's the very old, you are very fast on your feet, or the very young, there's an extraordinary vitality here. A way of life where people start dancing when they're children and don't stop having a good time even when they reach 100. Which on Hegarty is very often.
I think he's still flirting at the age of 100.
This island has a secret. What is it about this place that means the inhabitants live longer and better than the rest of us? Scientists say the people of Hegarty live at least 10 years longer, and with radically lower rates of serious illness like heart disease and dementia. Right now, a team of scientists is trying to find the answer, and what they discover might change the way we all live.
One painting, it's fine, perfect.
Dr. Christina Chrysohou is a cardiologist who's been tracking the health of Hegarty's older residents in a landmark 4-year study.
It's normal. It's normal even for my age, which means that there's no severe atherosclerotic disease.
What she and her colleagues are finding is quite simply astounding.
Okay.
They're seeing patients up to 100 years old whose hearts are in much better shape than medical science can explain.
His vascular aging is younger than his age.
How much younger?
About 20 years younger.
Dr. Chrysohou and her fellow scientists are now taking DNA samples in a bid to discover if there's a genetic component to this mystery.
There is something special going on here.
Something special here, yes.
People on Hegarty don't just live longer, they're much more likely to arrive at old age with all their faculties intact.
Most astoundingly, we found almost no sign of dementia. So these people are not only living a long, healthy life, they're reaching the end and they're very sharp. And that, at the end of the day, is what you want.
Dan Buettner is the best-selling author who first identified so-called blue zones, those places in the world where people have the highest life expectancy and the greatest chance of reaching 100. Ikaria is the most shining example yet discovered.
The maximum life expectancy for our species right now is about 92. The Icarians are reaching that better than any other population in the world.
It seems to me effortless for the Icarians, far more than the rest of us, to reach 100.
None of these 98 or 100-year-olds ever tried to live to be 100. Longevity happened to them.
Thank you. 100-year-old Gregorius Tasshaus is out for his daily coffee in the town square and still as sharp as a tack.
He says that you should come and stay in that village and you will reach that years, that age.
These days, Gregorius is not exactly a poster boy for good living. But between lighting up a ciggy and downing a bowl of ice cream, he's happy to share his recipe for long life.
So tell me, what is the secret?
He says the red wine makes you stronger.
The Icarians have lived on this rocky, mountainous island for at least 9,000 years. It's about as far away from mainland Greece as you can get, just 50 kilometres off the coast of Turkey. And that remoteness is common to all blue zones, from Sardinia in Italy to Okinawa in Japan.
They're all isolated in some way, untouched by Western civilization or the American food culture.
They're dependent upon each other because there is no one else to rely upon.
Yes, our kind of incessant reaching for more comfort may not really be the best route for longevity or indeed even happiness. That a little bit of hardship, I think, tempers human life.
The rugged terrain of Ikaria has bred tough, resilient people who walk and climb hills every day because they have to. Men like Christodoulos Pouros, who at the age of 95 is still as agile as his goats, and recommends a hard bed, not too much of the good life as secrets to a long life.
Twin. Costa Rica. He eats a lot of beans, vegetables, milk, eggs, whatever from the nature.
Και αυτά είναι βλαβερά.
Εγώ έχει πολύ. Λίγο. He said not too much sex.
Not too much?
Not too much.
Just enough. Then there's 99-year-old Evangela Canava, reeling off the family stories of a century ago as if they were yesterday, as if she was still a 20-year-old beauty. And like every good Icarian, Evangela has her own unique take on the fountain of youth.
In Pepsi. She loves Pepsi. No. In Pepsi. She's addicted.
Everyone has a theory. For some, it's the high levels of naturally occurring radioactive elements such as radium. For others, it's the herbs that grow wild all over the island and end up in just about everything Icarians eat and drink. I read of a magical tea, such a thing?
We have a lot of herbs here. We have many different teas here. And they have been analyzed and they have been shown to contain properties that are much stronger here in Ikaria.
Thea Perikos was born and raised in America. Like many second-generation Icarians, she's come to the island her parents left in search of a quieter, more meaningful way of life.
We call this combo horto, and it's used specifically for
for chest, for asthma, for colds. It's definitely one of the main ingredients for a long life on Hegarty.
Today, Thea has her own restaurant, and her traditional Icarian recipes might well be the Bible for healthy eating.
Now this is interesting.
These are a variety of wild greens.
And olive oil, essential.
If you don't have olive oil in your house, you can't cook. If you want to cook, you have to have olive oil, oregano, garlic, lemon. These are the basics.
So how many more years will I get if I eat this dish? Number 10? Would you eat processed food at all?
No. When you make a chicken soup, you have chicken, rice, lemon, salt, and pepper. That's all you need.
And you don't need to go to the supermarket for that?
No, you kill a chicken.
Apart from chicken and a bit of goat, most Icarians eat very little meat of any description. Their diet is almost entirely plant-based.
Hegarty has the most extreme version of the Mediterranean diet, but there are a few variations. Okay. For example, potatoes figure much more prominently in the Hegartian diet. Interestingly, you'd think fish, but where Hegartians lived, where the centenarians of today, they mostly lived inland, which was a day's journey from the sea. So it would take 2 days to get fish. So it was much easier for them to focus on a plant-based diet, which they indeed did.
And then, of course, there's the wine.
This is your own?
Yes.
Okay. This is essential?
Yes, this is a basic necessity.
Well, we know that drinkers outlive non-drinkers, which isn't to say if you're not drinking now that you should necessarily take it up, but we know that people who drink 2 to 3 glasses a day are probably drinking the optimal amount.
These fiestas are held regularly all over the island. And in the interests of accuracy, I have to report that people were drinking slightly more than 2 or 3 glasses, though it didn't seem to be doing them any harm. And something else too. It might just be the Icarian social life that holds the key to their longevity.
We don't have a table for the younger children and then the table for the adults. There's no lines of separation between the generations. And this is very nice because nobody feels out.
Is that the key to what we're talking about, longevity?
I think this is a very important part because nobody feels useless and nobody is left alone.
Even the scientists admit it may be the answer that's eluded all of their tests.
They are useful in the community till the very end.
And no one's left out.
This is the secret, not only living up to advanced age, but also having good quality of life, which means good mental stress without depression. And in order to have that, you must have a purpose in your life till the very end.
It seems to be working for the people of Hegarty, so perhaps it can work for the rest of us too.
How has it changed your life then?
I eat mostly a plant-based diet, and family's a lot more important to me than career was. I look pretty good for 104, don't I?
And if all it takes is good food, good wine, and good company, what's not to like?
60 Minutes advises that some scenes in the following story could disturb some viewers.
If you've been out soaking up the sun, basking in the last days of summer, this story will be a real eye-opener. You might think only oldies get skin cancer. 3 of the people you're about to meet certainly did. They were young, invincible. Then they got the terrible news. They had melanoma. One was just 16 years old. So it seems the slip, slop, slap message isn't getting through. We're not listening. More young Australians are at risk. More Australians are literally dying to get the perfect tan. But the good news is you don't have to be one of them. Sizzling in the midday sun. Sun reflector mats and coconut oil.
So that's just to bake us a little bit.
Two beautiful girls unashamedly cooking themselves.
Just to have a nice healthy glow, I guess, all over.
They judge you when you've got like a tan, but in the end I suppose if you don't have one, you're left behind.
For most Australians, it's a rite of passage. Come summer, the long lazy days at the beach and sunburned skin.
We live in Australia, you gotta have fun.
Stuff's pumping, how can I stay out of
You're
that?
not going to stay at home on a beautiful day like this.
It's the sun damage done when we're young that most often leads to melanoma later in life. This year, 8,000 Australians will get the bad news. 1,000 of us will die. But what's alarming doctors even more is that amongst teenagers, there's a growing trend to ignore the sun safety message. The real problem is they continue to get sunburn. So many more now refuse to wear a hat. They refuse to wear sunscreen. Because of that, doctors predict that in 5 to 10 years, we will face a health crisis. So many more of those sun-happy teenagers will get melanoma. Younger and younger people will suffer needless and painful deaths.
I thought that I'd never get cancer, that I was invincible from the sun.
That it couldn't happen to you?
Yeah, that it wouldn't have happened to me, it happened to somebody else, somebody older. I thought that skin cancer only happened in old people. Turns out I was wrong though.
Last year, Benjamin Foley was diagnosed with melanoma. He was 16. His brutal scars map his surgery to remove the mole and his lymph glands. But the threat isn't over. Having had one melanoma, his risk of having another is at least 4 times greater.
Why do you think you got the cancer?
Because I barely ever wore sunscreen.
I do remember getting burnt quite a lot, you know, sore shoulders, peeling skin on the back and that sort of thing, and you know, it was just a part of growing up.
These days, the only beach Stephen Nielsen visits is the local indoor swimming pool.
Ready? Go!
Even here, he wears a sun-safe shirt, and so does his 8-month-old son Lachlan, who won't be allowed to make the mistakes Stephen made.
It's a really hard thing to be told you're going to die.
Stephen knows the dangers of melanoma. At 28, he's near the end of his life.
At the moment, I've got tumours in the bone in my spine, for 2 of them. I've also got a liver that's completely full of it, and they've got evidence of one in my lung, and they're all basically inoperable.
Like any other Australian kid, Stephen spent most summer afternoons in the backyard in the sun.
The initial melanoma was removed from here.
He was 20 when first diagnosed with melanoma.
Up here, that's a melanoma, another one?
Since then, he's had 13 moles removed.
Yeah.
All tests showed he was clear.
The lymph node biopsy that I had done.
And then in June last year, Stephen felt a lump under his arm. His wife Melanie knew it wasn't good.
We just felt really ripped off, didn't we? Like it just was really not fair. You know, like why do we deserve this?
Stephen had lymph nodes removed from under his arm and radiation treatment, but it was too little, too late. The cancer had spread.
I was very angry with the whole situation, and I felt it shouldn't, you know, I worked hard, I paid my taxes, and I don't deserve this.
And you're such a young man.
Yeah, you know. It's, the grief I have is grief for the family that I'm going to leave behind. You know, people that rely on me or people that love me. You know, I should hope there's a lot of them out there, but it's something that you never expect's going to happen.
that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to deal with is the anger just to think that I used to lay on the beach thinking, oh, how lovely and brown I'm going to get. And
despite her fair skin, 24-year-old Renee Marchmont has always been a beachgoer.
I've always said a face without freckles is like a sky without stars because I have so many of them.
So you've got the scar to show what you've been through so far.
Yeah.
It was when one of her so-called freckles or moles changed its shape late last year that her future became uncertain.
Why do you have such a big scar for such a small freckle?
Yeah, well, I guess to make sure that they've got it all.
A week later, she got the pathology results from her doctor.
And it was just basically, you need to ring your husband, this is not good. Yeah. So, sorry.
No, you're okay. How did you react at that time?
Oh, I was a mess. I was in shock because I just said to him, I have a 10-week-old baby. What do you mean? And he couldn't really tell me. He just said, you need to ring your husband. This is serious. Because I was, in there by myself and, yeah. So it's just very, I'm 24. This can't be happening. I can't. Where are you off to?
Surgeons found the melanoma had spread to Renee's lymph gland. Now she faces another operation. For Renee and her husband Mason, there's no hiding their fear.
Well, yeah, I am feeling positive about it. It's just very scary as to, I think, the extent of it. I guess just thinking about what my life would be like.
Just hoping that we don't find another tumour. If we don't find another tumour, our chances are still fairly good.
This is Australia's national cancer. Good morning, how are you?
And melanoma specialist Dr. Jonathan Stretch says the statistics are only going to get worse.
There's a difference between enjoying activity out in the sun and willfully just lying around and going down and deliberately baking. I mean, that's the thing that is perhaps the hardest to reconcile when you look at the consequences of it. 16.
Today, Dr. Stretch and the team at Sydney's Royal North Shore Hospital will remove the lymph nodes from the left side of Renee's groin.
I just wonder how many people lying on a beach ever consider that this could be one of the results.
Probably not many.
It's a delicate hour-and-a-half procedure to take out the gland and any cancer that may have spread there without damaging surrounding arteries and veins.
And that's what all that surgery was about.
Wow.
And the best news will be that the pathologist can't find anything in that specimen.
Yeah, let's hope. How soon will you be able to tell her?
It'll take the pathologist about a week.
But for so many young Australians, ignorance is bliss. 6 months ago, Ben Foley was one of them. Now he's back trying to save lives.
How big was the mole?
The mole was only that big.
Showing strangers his scars, Ben has no trouble getting the message across.
I mean, I know what can happen, but it's just... I think I'm young and I don't think I'm vulnerable because I'm young.
How old are you?
16.
How old were you, Ben, when you got diagnosed?
When I was diagnosed, I was 16.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh. That's scary, eh?
Did you used to go down the beach every day, or?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh no. That's us. Ah!
Is there a chance of it coming back?
Yeah, there's a big chance of it coming back if I don't take care.
No, just because not wearing sunscreen.
Yeah, being out in the sun all the time.
We don't realise how important it is.
Incredibly, convincing Ben's closest mates is harder. They've watched him fight for his life. They're articulate and intelligent. They're just not sun smart.
Are you wearing sunscreen?
Not at the moment, no.
Why not?
I just don't usually put it on.
I'm a local here, so I'm always down the beach, and I guess I'm just used to not wearing sunscreen. You sort of get into a habit of not putting it on and just going down the beach.
We see so many people who are totally unaware of the risks they're taking by seeking to become the perfect bronzed Aussie.
Let's have a look at your back if we could. Can you slip your t-shirt off for me?
Professor John Thompson from the Sydney Melanoma Unit is Ben Foley's doctor.
All right, now I understand that you're all regular beachgoers.
He agreed to meet Ben's friends and put their sun-exposed skin under the spotlight.
How often would you get sunburnt, do you think?
In summer, probably weekly.
It's not so much getting a little bit of sun from time to time, but actually getting sunburnt that does the damage.
Professor Thompson's ultraviolet light reveals these young beachgoers have prematurely aged skin and suspect moles.
And that one there is quite dark. In fact, that one there probably ought to be removed sometime.
What does that mean in terms of their future prognosis, the damage that you saw there under that blue light?
In 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years, they are at very high risk of developing skin cancers of all sorts, including melanoma, which is potentially fatal.
I didn't think I'd had that much damage, but knowing that there is something still, I really genuinely am scared for myself.
If you're still not convinced this is serious, then as difficult as it is, meet John Oaten.
So we'll just have a look at this today, John.
18 months ago, he had a small but suspect mole checked. Since then, the melanoma has multiplied so aggressively that 10 weeks ago, his arm was amputated. Were you a sun goer in your youth?
Well, like everybody who lives in Sydney, I went out in the sun.
The tumours you see on John's chest and back are what most melanoma sufferers have inside their body as the cancer spreads. Out of sight, but just as deadly.
I think it's very brave of you to sit here and show us what you're going through. Why are you doing it?
If somebody can see this and realise the power of the sun, then it's done some good.
Now, you don't have to answer this question, but what have doctors told you about your future?
Basically, it's up to me and my maker now. Medically and so forth, there's no treatment that they've got at this stage that will stop it.
It's 3 weeks since Renee Marchmont's operation. It's been an anxious time. She's still recovering, but more nerve-wracking has been the wait for her results, to see if the cancer has spread, to see if at 24 she has a future. What have you been told in terms of your results?
15 more lymph nodes were taken and they've all come back clear.
Yeah, so when you got that news?
Oh, ecstatic. I didn't know what to do. I started to cry, actually.
Are you completely in the clear now?
Not necessarily, no. There is still that chance that it is in my bloodstream, and so we have to keep an eye out whether it shows up anywhere else.
You want to sit with Daddy? You see what Daddy's getting done?
Yeah. For Stephen Nilsson, his only chance lies in chemotherapy.
Come on. Yeah, high five. Yeah.
He's already planned a goodbye to his son.
I was supposed to get myself organised and do a bit of a video diary and that sort of thing. Record some things that I possibly won't get to say to him. Yeah.
What sort of things do you think you might like to say?
That's why I haven't started yet, because I don't know where to start. So things that I want to say to him are just that, I'm sorry I can't be there, and that I hope that me not being there hasn't affected him too much. Sorry.
It has to be one of nature's greatest shows. Certainly, I've never witnessed anything like the dancing manta rays of the Maldives. Their mesmerising underwater ballet only happens at one place on Earth, and even then, only rarely. So it's devastating to think that these massive and majestic creatures are being hunted to extinction. And if we're not careful, the curtain will come down on their hauntingly beautiful performance forever. In a far-off patch of the Indian Ocean, the Maldives spreads over 1,200 islands and atolls, across 90,000 square kilometres. And amidst all this, we're looking for one of the ocean's most magical and elusive creatures. the manta ray.
They're beautiful to look at, they're extremely graceful, elegant creatures. They are, for me, the wow creature in the ocean.
Marine biologist Guy Stevens has dedicated his life to understanding and protecting this mysterious giant of the deep.
I've seen lots of really cool things, and hopefully I'll see many more cool things, but I've yet to find an animal that's quite so cool as the mantas.
The manta ray grows up to 8 metres across, weighs up to 2,500 kilos, and travels the oceans alone. And that elusiveness makes it an intensely difficult subject for scientists like Guy to study.
One of the really amazing things about manta rays is that they just move around individually. And so they spend most of their time wandering around, searching for where they can feed on the plankton. We can learn so much by observing them really, really close. And for a large animal like manta rays in the ocean, that's usually quite difficult to do.
But this solitary giant has one extraordinary, momentary social event, and it takes place in a very remote corner of the Maldives, called Honey Faru. And that's where we're headed.
Basically the whole of this reef and the island over here, the whole lagoon area, that's now part of the Honey Faru Marine Protected Area.
I'm going to head up this way with the camera, and I'll follow you and Alison, okay?
Guy's invited Australian and fellow marine biologist Mark Meakin, a specialist in measuring marine creatures. They're hoping Mark's purpose-built stereo camera will provide a critical piece of data to unlocking the manta mystery.
The key bit of information he lacks is growth rate. You need to know how fast an animal grows to work out how resilient the population is. How much impact can it take from fishing? How much impact can it take from humans? If they grow really fast, then they replace themselves quickly and they can sustain a bit of damage. If they grow really slowly, then the resilience of that population is low, and we really have to look out for them. This is just the first year of what will probably take a couple of years to really get a good idea.
Tough job you're doing, isn't it?
I hate having excuses to go back to the Maldives.
It's not the turquoise waters and pristine beaches that attract the mantas to the Maldives. It's a very rare feeding bonanza at Honey Faru Reef.
Honey Faru is all about the food, so if there's lots of food in the bay, the mantas come to feed on it. No food, no mantas.
Mantas feed on plankton, and we're searching for a patch of sea no bigger than a football field, where that plankton is super concentrated. It's like looking for a drop in the ocean, but if we find it, Guy says we'll find mantas, not one or two, but hundreds.
There's nowhere else really which gives the opportunity for manta scientists to repeatedly see these animals up close when they're feeding and exhibiting all these different types of behaviours. That's one of nature's, all-time spectacles.
But Guy has discovered that for this rarest of events to occur, there must be a perfect alignment of the tides and the lunar cycle.
We're heading into the darkest night of the month, and out there, just beyond the reef, tides are stirring that will channel thousands of tonnes of plankton into a tiny section of the ocean. And that, we're hoping, will draw the manta rays out of the depths.
For me, it's the most amazing thing in the world. I mean, you have, you can have these massive concentrations of plankton, massive concentrations of mantas feeding on it, and it's all in such a small area. Something the size of a football pitch. So the fact that they're right there, all around you together is pretty spectacular.
And what are you hoping to see?
Well, I'm hoping to get up close and personal with a manta ray.
This certainly wasn't what we were hoping to wake up to. The moon and the tides might be perfect, but the weather has closed in every direction.
The storm sets in, and under this broken ocean, there's no way of knowing if the mantas are moving in or moving on. Then, as quickly as it's set in, the storm lifts.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, amazing, huh?
And the water is alive with mantas.
You can just see them, they're all basically feeding on this concentrated patch of plankton right here.
This is fantastic. I can't believe we've got the new moon. It's now quite calm. We've got it to ourselves.
Perfect, perfect.
It's like diving into another world. Manta formations sweep over us. And as the scientists document this extraordinary gathering, I just watch in wonder.
They're almost like underwater birds. I mean, they have these massive, long, elongated pectoral fins that effectively they're used to sort of flap, fly through the water. And if there's really, really dense amounts of plankton and there's lots of mantas there feeding on it, they will form this sort of cyclone, underwater cyclone of this spiraling mass of animals. There's very little that compares to that on this planet.
That was truly, truly spectacular.
That would have to be, I think, one of the best animal experiences you can do on the planet. It's kind of a mix between eagles and small trucks, really, isn't it? Or something.
Like everywhere you look, it's like mantas barrel rolling and chains, and it's just an amazing sight, it really is.
But while mantas are protected in the Maldives, half an ocean away, they're being fished to oblivion. The commercial fish markets of Sri Lanka. Grisly evidence of a pointless slaughter.
They're selling these animals for, $40 for a whole manta ray. That scares the hell out of me that these animals are worth so little, and it doesn't take much to completely, wipe out a population.
The mantas aren't even being killed to eat. The meat is thrown away. They're wiped out for their gills, which are dried, pulverised and sold as a bogus cancer cure in Chinese medicine.
We're killing these absolutely beautiful animals and we're turning them into a powder.
Tough to see.
Very hard to watch.
But there's real hope here. Back in the manta's haven of the Maldives, tourists are starting to converge on this undersea refuge, representing both threat and possible salvation.
It's a great outcome that people think about these animals in terms of tourist dollars rather than just a dead animal hauled out in a fish dock. That's a really good thing. But the problem with all these things is that they're a victim of their own popularity and we stand a good chance of loving them to death.
But Guy has convinced the Maldivian government to regulate tourism at this unique place.
We have to find a balance, we have to find a compromise to ensure that both people and the animals will be able to continue to enjoy this site for the future.
Right now, the mantas of the Maldives are living proof that every endangered species needs a human champion.
Every animal has the right to exist and to deserve to continue existing. We don't have the right to make any creature extinct on this planet.
What do we lose if animals like the manta become extinct?
I just think we're poorer as people. Those things are, something we all need to see.
In this job, I've learned that the world still holds some remarkable surprises. Like the people you're about to meet. the ocean nomads of the South Pacific, called the Baja-Laut. With no land-based home to call their own, these sea gypsies have roamed the treacherous waters north of Australia for centuries, living their entire lives on tiny wooden boats. The ocean provides their every need. They've even physically adapted to hunt underwater as efficiently as ocean mammals. But as exotic as it sounds, I soon discovered life on the ocean waves has its hardship and danger, from tropical storms to deadly pirates. Hello, how are you? I'm about to set off on an ocean voyage across some of the most treacherous waters on the planet. Hello. Salam. But already I feel I'm in safe hands, for these are the Baja-Laut, sea gypsies who live their entire lives on their boats. And joining me on this extraordinary adventure is Helen Brunt, a young English anthropologist who's been adopted by this sea gypsy family. This is your son?
It is Feldy.
And what's his name?
Feldy.
Feldy! Feldy!
He's quite shy.
Shy for the cameras.
Yeah. It's very naughty. It's really nice in a lot of ways because you're free to travel wherever you want to go, and then when you're hungry you just go fishing. So it's a very happy place.
Just imagine, there are 3 families crowded onto this tiny boat. 17 people, all born at sea, including Nahara and her young family. Nahara, do you get anxious when you go on land?
Yeah, nakalka. Yeah. Not normal for them to be on land, so what's normal is the motion of the boat rocking.
The Baja-Laut roam a vast area of ocean north of Australia called the Coral Triangle, and for now, we're off the coast of Borneo. You only have to spend a few days with the Baja-Laut to understand why they're called sea gypsies. They are truly the last ocean nomads. They wander these seas in the tiniest wooden boats, always searching for their next meal. This is Sorben, and he's one of the greatest Baja-Laut fishermen, and just wait till you see how he does it.
He'll spend some time looking for the right area by putting his face into the water, wearing his goggles or his mask.
Once Sorben spots his prey, he loads his homemade spear, then does his own unique breathing exercises.
He says that he always dives better after smoking a cigarette, so I'm not quite sure how that works. When he's ready, he'll just drop into the water very quietly, very calmly, and drop straight down, head first, right down to the bottom of the reef, so using as little energy as possible.
Sorben can reach depths of more than 20 metres. The pressure on his body right now is enormous. His heart rate has slowed to 25 beats per minute. Sorben strides across these underwater plains like an ancient hunter. His body's so lean, he can achieve negative buoyancy where most of us would float to the surface.
It's one of the most incredible things you can see is the human body, which isn't designed to go underwater, and certainly not for that amount of time, behaving like a marine mammal almost.
He's been down for an unbelievable 2.5 minutes. Here he comes. What have you got? It looks enormous. Oh, A massive stingray. That is going to be Sorbin's dinner for tonight, him and his family. Well done. Well done. How often does he miss?
He rarely misses, but really what's hard for him now is finding the fish because they're not as abundant as they used to be.
The traditional fishing grounds of the Baja Laut have been stripped by the big commercial trawlers. But just 20 minutes away is a reminder of how it used to be. Sipadan, a protected marine park teeming with fish. Fish in every shape, size and colour, fish in their millions. Fish the Bajau are forbidden to touch. For Sulban, tracking through the barren moonscape left by decades of overfishing, it means every shot has to count. Like many of his people who can't afford the upkeep of a boat, Sulban squats on a nearby island with his wife and 3 children. Must be very proud of your husband. He's a very good fisherman.
Yeah. Yes, he's very proud of her husband, Sublin. Always catch every time when he goes out to the sea.
Some Baja Laut live on flimsy stilt houses built out in the middle of the sea. But others like Nahara and her family are determined to stay on their boats. And you can see why.
You can move around wherever you want, independence.
And this is your backyard.
Yeah.
It's not bad, is it? But this freedom comes at a heavy price. The Baja Laut are stateless, liable to be arrested whenever they go ashore to sell their fish in exchange for fuel.
They are not citizens of any country.
So they can end up behind bars?
Yeah, from a day and a night to a few months. This is a clam here, but what's for dinner is the stingray, which is drying on the roof.
No wonder the Bajau have learnt to rely entirely on the sea for their every need. I was expecting to see 1 or 2 stingrays.
No, this is what they caught earlier.
But for me, there are much more alarming problems to face up to. Is this what I think it is?
Yeah, this is the toilet here. Pretty simple, huh?
Pretty basic, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a good enough reason not to go ever.
Yes.
So tell me, how do Mum and Dad find private time?
I guess the answer is quietly at night time. But yeah, it seems to work because they're having a lot of children.
We're about to head to an island called Marble, which is about 30 kilometres from here. But there's a lot of tension on board. Rangu and Nahara have heard that pirates attacked another Baja Laut boat last week, stealing the engine and killing someone on board. We've just been waiting for high tide to hit, but everyone's pretty keen to get moving before it gets dark.
Their fears are very real because they do live on the water and they are worried about people attacking them, and their boat doesn't go very fast, so they wouldn't be able to escape.
We've reached safe harbour just in time. There's a storm brewing. I think you can spend as many days as you want on the boat, but the reality of this life sets in at night. 17 people will be sharing this tiny space. Men, women, children, and for tonight, me too. And bed is a small pillow and a wooden floor. When the storm hits, it hits with a vengeance. I've never seen rain like it, flooding through the roof of the cabin. Our boat is in danger of being swept off its mooring, But while some of the younger family members battle the storm, the older ones don't even stir.
It's been a very long night, and I can say that the roof leaks, and it leaks quite a bit, but it didn't seem to bother anyone else on board. I guess they've probably gone through thousands of storms like this. And Nahari just tells me that some of the men have gone out to check the nets to see what's for breakfast.
She wants you to try the fish head.
Is she serious?
Yes. Give it a try.
Okay, It's very good. Good.
If we needed any reminder of this unforgiving life, it arrives in the most shocking way possible. Sunburnt, my spearfishing friend, is shattered. His 3-month-old son Chris has died. It's thought he caught an illness from dirty water, but no one knows for sure. And in a gesture that humbles me to the core, Sunburnt invites me to the farewell for his beloved little boy. It is Sunburnt's last goodbye to the son he had hoped would one day follow in his footsteps. He's now lost 7 of his 9 children.
To me, it represents how very fragile their existence is, and how a child can come into the world and then leave the world really soon, but without having any documentation, without ever really existing.
Out in the village though, life goes on. The kids who survive grow up strong. They have to be.
Do you worry about them?
I do, yeah. What's it going to be like when these little kids that I see are adults themselves? And I think we can learn a lot from them.
For now, they're just happy, enjoying the sea.
That was fun! High five! High five! Yes!
And who knows? Maybe somewhere amongst them is the next Sunburnt.
Welcome back. On a surfboard, Stephanie Gilmore is poetry in motion. A stunning combination of beauty, grace and skill. She's got 6 world titles to prove it, just one short of Lane Beachley's world record. But despite the Golden Girl's winning smile, it hasn't all been smooth surfing. When a brutal assault rocked Steph's world, some feared her competitive days were over. But with the love of family, friends and her love of the ocean, she's bounced back in emphatic fashion. If Australian surfing has a headquarters, it's here at Snapper Rocks on Queensland's Gold Coast. A golden mile of surf with its own golden girl, Stephanie Gilmore. At 27, she has made the waves here and around the world her own. A beautiful expression of her eternal love affair with the ocean.
To be out there riding something that has travelled so far across the ocean, and you get to share that last little moment with it before it crashes and disappears forever. It's a pretty cool little way to look at it, but
That is seriously deep.
it's deep, but
Wow,
it's
man.
cool. I don't know, I love it. I mean, surfing is a pretty spiritual experience for anybody.
It may be a cliche, but it's true when they say only a surfer knows the feeling. Little wonder Stephanie has long had the nickname Happy Gilmore.
I think every single person that is a surfer that truly loves surfing, they can say that their very first experiences in the surf was when they fell in love with it.
Today, surfing has brought Stephanie Gilmore fame, fortune and 6 world titles with the promise of more to come. She has changed the face of not just women's surfing, but the sport in general. Is it little wonder then, even Steph's parents, Jeff and Tracy, are in awe of their daughter?
It's majestic.
Yeah.
She does stand out when I'm out in the water and she comes through on a wave. I do think to myself how majestic she looks on the wave.
Jeff, is it true that you didn't cry when Steph was born, but you cried when she won her first world title?
Well, I did shed a tear, that's for sure. I remember that. I still see the photos. Well, you can't actually tell that I'm crying, but I recall that. Yeah.
He wasn't even there when she was born. They sent him for a walk.
Stephanie was the youngest of 3 girls, a self-confessed tomboy who hated dresses and just loved sport. She still does. Stephanie's a natural-born competitor.
Here we go.
At whatever she tries.
Whoa.
Golf is her latest sporting frontier.
You're driving me to the lake. Oh, jeez. You're in the hole. You play way too much golf. That's on the green.
It's on the green. She just can't stand being beaten.
Oh, come on.
In the nicest, sometimes cheekiest manner.
Oh, come on.
I'll be the pin girl.
Steph will do what she has to win. Right, here we go. In the hole.
I just have really vivid memories of being young and just wanting to be the very best at everything that I was doing, whether it was athletics, soccer, hockey. I just wanted to win and to be the best performer on that day. And I can still feel that every single event that I go into.
Just give me sunshine through the autumn, sweet snow to the spring.
But it was surfing that truly captured Stephanie. Taught by her father Jeff, she became, in surfing jargon, a grommet, a mad, keen young surfer. And her progress was stunning. Whilst still a schoolgirl in 2005, she was given a wild card into her first professional contest, the Roxy Pro at Snapper Rocks.
I remember paddling out into the final of that event and just, I had such a confidence, and I remember thinking, I don't even know why this other girl is going to paddle out.
It was a school day.
She was supposed to be at school, yeah.
Yeah. So probably should have I been, but...
Well, you're a school teacher. You let a wag school go and surf. What sort of a role model are you?
So exciting to watch.
Was
It
it?
really is. Like those 30-minute heats. Like a tennis match goes for hours or a football match goes for hours, but you got that 30-minute heat in surfing and you get down to the last couple of seconds and are they going to get a wave or not, and somebody needs a score, and you do get excited and really, really nervous.
Stephanie won, but despite being the new wonder kid of women's surfing, her parents insisted she finished school. This merely delayed the inevitable. In 2007, she turned professional and won the world title 4 years straight. She was invincible.
I'll then push you down and stand on you, simulating that you're getting pressed to the bottom of the reef for about a count of 2, 3.
As long as she prepared for the worst Mother Nature could throw at her, it seemed nothing could stop the Gilmore Express.
I mean, I'll always tell myself it's just wrong place, wrong time.
But then in December 2010, Stephanie was attacked and savagely beaten by a mentally ill homeless man, Julius Fox, in the car park of her apartment block.
Yeah, he came at me ran after me with a bar, and it was pretty crazy.
Her left wrist was broken and she needed stitches in her head.
It still brings up emotions, obviously. I appreciate it in a weird way because it made me grow up a lot.
It really made me appreciate how much I love surfing, and yeah, it was pretty traumatic, I'm not gonna lie. But I think the biggest thing was because to be able to travel the world so much and constantly be in places that are so, dangerous cities and places that you constantly read about as being really scary places to be, and then you come home to a place and then that's where something bad happens. It's pretty, it's a wild experience, but something that I grew from, definitely.
How did it change you?
To look at it in a positive light is something that I've always done, and sort of said it happened to me for some kind of reason, to realise that, it's not all rainbows and world titles.
Some even predicted Stephanie's world title run was over, that she was finished as an athlete. But even though her bones were broken, her spirit wasn't. This is one surfer who doesn't give up.
But the body doesn't care where the stress is coming from, it behaves the same way.
And critical to this recovery, trainer Nam Baldwin.
With reaction.
And his mind and body workouts.
Like the Matrix.
Which is why I get to throw tennis balls at a world champ.
Stop.
Taking you out, Gilmore.
I think in athletes today, it's so much about character. And I think that's her strongest point, is she's got such a strong character.
How do you focus in there and help her perform under pressure?
Put her under more pressure. Awareness. Good move. Go again, see if we can get it under pressure.
You never felt like giving up, though?
No, never. I never wanted to give up. And I mean, there was definitely doubts. I definitely wondered, will I ever win a world title again? And when there's lots of press and lots of gossip and people saying, I don't think Steph will be able to bounce back because the new girls on tour are too good and all this sort of stuff, it just adds fuel to the fire.
In 2012, Stephanie Gilmore announced in emphatic fashion she was back, winning the first contest of the year, the Roxy Pro, and then going on to claim her 5th world title. She won a 6th world title last year. Fellow surfing greats like Joel Parkinson stood back and applauded. That's pretty impressive.
Really impressive. Everyone said, after her 4th, she had a dip and wondered what would happen. And she come back and won.
Steph Gilmore, where does she sit, do you think?
I think Steph probably sits in probably the greatest Australian surfer of all time.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen her surf heats where she could have beaten me.
And along the way, Stephanie Gilmore has grown up, transforming from grommet to glamazon. And the boys back at Snapper Rocks can't stop shaking their heads.
Like, back then she had no style. Like, I look at her today and she's like a glamour woman. And back then she was such a tomboy. There was she was a girl, but she was pretty much half boy kind of. That's what it looked like. And today I look at her and I think, like, she is the queen bee of the surfing women's world tour.
But it was Steph who got stung by criticism of sexploitation over this provocative ad for her main sponsor, Roxy, in 2013. Even though she goes to work in a bikini, some thought our Steph was exposing too much of herself. What did you think when you were looking at Steph Gilmore in that clip? Be honest.
I liked it. I was watching it going, that's new for me, because it was. I'm not a 12-year-old young tomboy anymore. And I also believe in my right to be a sexy young woman as well.
Did you think you looked hot in it?
Mate. The hottest girl on tour. No, I'm kidding. I thought it looked good.
At 27, Stephanie Gilmore is well and truly in charge of her own destiny. A virtuoso both in and out of the water. She needs just one more championship to equal Lane Beachley's record of 7 women's world titles.
You know, I've always positioned myself as not only a record breaker, but a history maker. And Steph has not only broken records, she's created history. And I think she will continue to do so.
Okay, awkward question. Can she equal your 7 world titles? Just got to let you go now.
I'm going to walk over here, actually. Am I really that scary? Seriously?
You're competitive.
Yes.
What do you think about doing that?
Let's just finish it off on the ping pong.
What do you think about 7? With her in your presence right now.
What do you think about 7? I think you've got what it takes, and I know you're going to do it, so don't let me stop you.
And she won't. Anything is possible for the girl with the golden smile, who's proven nice people can finish first.
She's never forgotten her roots. She's so grounded and down to earth. You know, it's kind of funny to find that she has a bad bone in her body, but I don't think she does. You know, she's just got competitive bones.
How do you feel towards her?
Well, I'm in awe of her. I think she's just, you know, what she's done for surfing and what she's done for women surfing is incredible.
It's cool to leave a legacy, and a cool one at that.
And what is your legacy?
I've always loved the thought of leaving a good lasting impression on people, no matter who they are, no matter how long you hung out with them for. Yeah, I love the thought of inspiring people in a way that they can actually use it for themselves.
Go and ride the wave, man.
Cowabunga, dude.
I'm no expert on the finer points of surfing, but I do know magic when I see it. Magic like this. That record-breaking wave ridden by Pete Cabrina recently, the 70-footer that won him more than $100,000.
You know, Mother Nature just decides to give you one like that and you're not going to pass it up.
And there's more where that came from. Coming up in this story from Leslie Stall, the most dangerous wave in the world, and the surfing legend who rode it. A legend most non-surfers have never heard of. But once you see Laird Hamilton in action, you certainly won't forget him.
We first met Laird off the coast of Maui in Hawaii.
You gotta catch this wave too?
We put a microphone on his life vest.
It's a beautiful wave. It's really smooth. Taking the high line, trying to make it.
To him, monster waves like this are, well, small. This is what Laird Hamilton considers a big wave. A wall of water up to 70 feet high, the equivalent of a 7-story building. These are the waves he lives for.
Well, describe one of those big, huge waves.
It would be like if all of a sudden you saw a block of buildings come alive and it decides that it's going to start falling towards you. And you have to know where to go to get away from it. And if you're up on top of it, you have to know how to get down it and get away from it.
Do you know what you're describing? A nightmare. Well, you are. That's what a nightmare is.
It could be for someone. Some people seek nightmares out. I mean, scary movies are popular.
Wipeouts in big wave surfing are a scary thing to behold. All these surfers survived, but in the past 10 years, 4 big wave surfers have lost their lives.
Do you understand why you need all that danger in your life?
Probably not. I know that if I scare myself once a day, I'm a better person. And I think everybody would be. I think it's part of actually existing. I think that we've gone so far away from that.
Oh, you mean from the caveman time?
Yeah, dinosaurs chasing you, wanting to eat you. You know,
so
I think
we need it.
I think we do.
For as long as he can remember, Laird has been a daredevil. One of his earliest memories is the day he handpicked his own father. His biological father had abandoned him and his mom. Laird was playing by himself on the beach outside his home in Hawaii when a pro surfer named Bill Hamilton, then 17 years old, came walking by.
I see this little blonde-haired kid just rolling around the waves and just having a wonderful time. So I dove in the water and I said, "Hey, what's your name? You want to body surf?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Hop on my back." We just had a super connection.
How old was he?
He was 2.5.
I brought him home and said, hey, you gotta meet my mom. And he was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll come meet your mom.
And I walk in, and here is this beautiful, older woman. And I was head over heels.
Within 6 months, they were married. By all accounts, Laird was a hellraiser of a kid, hard to control. He quit school early and worked at everything from construction to modeling to support his surfing. He was the first man Brooke Shields agreed to pose with in 1983. Laird's life today is still filled with beautiful women, but it's tamer than you might think. He's married to former professional volleyball player and model Gabby Reese. He has an 8-year-old daughter from his first marriage and a brand new baby girl with Gabby.
Is he fearless?
No, I don't think Laird is fearless at all. I think that's what's so interesting about Laird and athletes like Laird, which is they are just as afraid, but they deal with it differently. Because if they didn't have fear, I don't think they'd be as good as they are.
Throughout his career, he's been controversial. He's reached the pinnacle of big wave surfing without ever entering a contest. He says the judging is too subjective. And then he went and did something his critics said took the soul out of the sport. He made it easier. In traditional surfing, the surfer has to paddle out past the waves, then wait and pick exactly the right moment to paddle like crazy in the opposite direction, and then somehow get up on his feet. But when waves reach 50 feet or more, they move so fast, it's impossible. Surfers call it the unridden realm, and Laird was determined to go there. His ticket was a buddy with a jet ski, pulling him at 40 miles an hour. It was a simple idea, but it changed everything.
It's cheating.
My kind of cheating.
Your kind of cheating, but nevertheless cheating.
Well, it's, you know what it is, it's just different. Everybody that's done it, I don't hear one of those guys ever say it's cheating.
Laird argues that towing in is actually safer because the jet ski is there to race in and pull a fallen surfer out before the next wave hits. But his real defense of tow-in is what it has allowed him to achieve: conquering Chopu. This is Chopu, a surf spot off the coast of Tahiti.
Watch how it breaks and the volume that it has.
Laird showed us the video.
It looks totally terrifying.
Yeah.
Is this the most dangerous wave you have ever surfed?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah.
Chopu is so dangerous not because of its height, but because of the thickness or volume of the wave, and because the water is extremely shallow. A fall on a wave like this one means almost certain death. No one had ever dared surf waves this big at Chopu until Laird towed into this wave 4 years ago.
Do you remember what you're thinking here?
Yeah, I'm thinking you should jump off.
Where would you jump off to?
My mind is telling me to jump off.
Where would you go to?
Doesn't care, just says jump. And I'm going, no, if I jump off, I can't make it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of time to think. I had probably too much time to think.
How did you come through that?
That ride at Chopu made Laird a legend. But after that, he went back to his garage and tinkered with ways to revolutionize the sport yet again. This is what he came up with: a strange-looking contraption he calls a foil board. Watch what he does with it. It seems almost impossible. Under the water is a hydrofoil blade similar to an airplane, with a short surfboard and snowboard boots. The hydrofoil cuts through the water like a knife, so the surfer sails above the bumps on the surface of the waves.
See, this board just cuts through the chop, but you got to keep your balance on it.
He makes it sound easy, but other surfers told us it's like trying to surf on a unicycle. Laird believes that foilboarding will someday allow surfers to ride the biggest swells out in the open ocean for miles and miles.
You have an 8-year-old daughter. You have a new baby, a little girl who's just a couple of weeks old, a wife. Doesn't the fact that you have this family change things for you?
Yeah, it changes what I do when I get back to land.
Oh. Why do you do it?
because I really just love it. I think it's one of the few times in my life that I feel totally complete. Like, this is why I'm here. When I'm out there and I'm doing it, I don't have any doubts or any questions. Just, I'm living it, and that's it.
Welcome back. Some people call cliff diving a sport, others say it's sheer madness. But either way, jumping 20 plus metres off a rock ledge, trying to be graceful as you somersault into the water at 80 kilometres an hour is spectacular and incredibly dangerous. Just 2 months ago, Australian Rhiannon Ifland took up cliff diving and literally from her first jump became a world beater. I joined the 24-year-old with the nerves of steel and her understandably nervous parents in Italy for her latest vertigo-inducing competition. The place is Polignano a Mare, a spectacular Italian village perched on the cliffs high above the sparkling waters of the Adriatic Sea. But the summer crowds have gathered here today not for this beautiful town, but for this. A heart-dropping display of bravery and extraordinary skill. The last to dive today, and wowing the cliff diving world, is newcomer 24-year-old Australian Rhiannon Ifland. Cheered on by many, but especially mum and dad, Peter and Sharon.
Per l'australiana Rhiannon Ifland.
Would she be feeling nervous up there right now?
Bloody oath. Sure would be.
This is the very first time they've seen their daughter compete at such a height, a towering 21 metres. The novice up against the very best in the world's most death-defying cliff diving competition.
Should she be happy with that dive?
Oh, I think so.
The judges are very happy. At the end of round one, unbelievably, Rhiannon, the rookie, is in first place. But she has 2 more rounds of diving to go and a long climb to the top, quite literally.
All the stairs.
It's a way to keep you fit, isn't it?
Before she can take her next leap, Rhiannon must make her way through the village and the crowds to the diving platform.
Actually, it's a lot of fun on the way up.
Escorted by security, we wind our way through the narrow streets of the old part of town.
You have no sense in these little back streets, do you, that you're about to climb onto a very high platform and jump off?
No, you can't actually see the ocean. I think it really helps.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for the house that's played host to the Red Bull competition for the past couple of years.
Oh, they're next, huh?
That's the owner of the house?
Yes.
Now home to 2 massive platforms. First, the women's, and above it, at a terrifying 27 metres high, the men's. It's time to let Rhiannon get on with the job.
I get to the end, I have a look down and I set my mind and I switch it on and say, okay, now it's dive mode.
And once again be awestruck by her courage and acrobatic skill. What is the voice in your head saying, or what are you trying to get it to say?
Well, it's definitely saying don't jump. But I've just started to be able to control the thoughts in my head, and once you get there and you can control your thoughts and stay positive, then your body just takes over and enjoy the ride.
Is it the closest you'll ever come to flying?
I think so.
Rhiannon Ifland may be a rookie, but she's soaring high in an extreme sport only a special breed of person competes in. The Red Bull World Series showcases the very best in the world at some of the most breathtaking diving spots on Earth. But reaching speeds of between 75 and 85 kilometres an hour, these athletes take their life in their hands each time they dive. This watermelon shows the full force of the impact.
It feels like a car crash. When you hit the water wrong, I mean, you feel it immediately.
If it goes wrong, how badly can it go wrong?
I mean, if it goes really wrong, you could die.
Thankfully surviving his fair share of missteps, the long-time leading man of cliff diving, Orlando Duque, has only admiration for the new kid on the block.
When she started the season, it was just unreal. I mean, superb diving.
Invited to compete as a wild card, Rhiannon stunned the Red Bull elite by winning on her debut in Texas just 9 weeks ago. She followed up by taking out the next round in the spectacular setting of the Azores in Portugal.
Rhiannon Ifland once again the wild card.
Winning 2 out of 2 competitions makes Rhiannon the highest ranking woman in the sport.
It's probably the best result we've ever had, you know? She just came as a wild card and then she won the competition. Not only she won the first competition, she came to the second one and she repeated.
Not a fluke off 20 metres, is it?
No. It's, I mean, she's doing everything right.
Are you worried at all that someone might push you off? I mean, you're the wild card. Surely that's ruffled a few feathers.
Yeah, I'm sure it has, but of course everybody comes here to win. But I don't know, everybody seems to be very encouraging and...
Everybody does come here to win, of course, but nobody expects the rookie to win.
Including the rookie.
Including the rookie.
Growing up on the shores of Lake Macquarie, an hour or so north of Sydney, Rhiannon has spent much of her life on or in the water. These days, she's so busy travelling the world, she rarely gets any time to be home with her family. But when she does, it's not long before she's getting itchy feet.
So where are we actually heading? Where are you taking me?
We're off to Pulbar Island, where it all started.
2 k's from the shore is the island where Rhiannon spent endless summers. With her big sister and her mates, pint-sized Rhiannon would spend hours honing her skills on what they called jump rock.
Just got to find the way up now again.
That's part of the sport, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just more scared of the snakes and the spiders than jumping.
It's a long way from what she can do now, but Mum and Dad are still as nervous as they are proud.
Don't forget to dive out.
Jump out!
Oh, that was better. We'll give you 4 for that. Only 4.
No way, I'm giving you a 10. That was great. How would you describe Rhiannon as a little girl? What was she like as a child?
Sometimes I could have thrown her off a cliff, but but now she does it, so I don't have to worry about that.
This is the real one.
Peter and Sharon have watched their bouncing baby girl go from trampolining to competitive diving with aspirations to go to the Olympics. Before she found greater heights and a new life as an acrobat diving on cruise ships and in theme parks.
I mean, it has been described as death-defying, and that's what it is. That must be hard to watch.
Yeah.
Well, in the back of our mind,
Oh, of
I'd
course,
definitely
we
say
worry.
we're frightened for her, because it is a dangerous sport.
Yep.
We realise that.
We just came in to have a bit of fun, I guess, and yeah, but super proud to represent Australia.
Back in Italy, at the home of European cliff diving, it's not just Rhiannon, but also 21-year-old Helena Merton from the Gold Coast, who's making the world notice Australia.
Everyone is really supportive of each other. And
they're the first Australian women cliff divers to compete, and already a number 1 and number 3 in the Red Bull series.
And here you are shoulder to shoulder, but you're also competitors. I mean, how do you work that out?
Well, for me, I don't really look at the other divers as competitors, to be honest. I mean, we're all diving such a big height that we don't want to see anybody do anything but well. I mean...
Sure, but you don't want to lose to them, do you? You don't want to lose to this woman, do you?
Well, well, no. But
see?
Yeah.
Helena may be the youngest on the team, but she is incredibly poised, even when perched above the world, and clearly crazy.
That's why we love the sport, the adrenaline that you get, because you know the risk that you're taking every time. You're never super relaxed up there.
This is the last practice session before the competition starts, and so the stress levels are starting to mount. Because with cliff diving, it's not just about jumping off, it's all about precision. Watch it go, whoa! And that looked pretty precise to me.
Day 2 of competition, and this usually sleepy town is heaving. On the cliffs and in the water, the adoring crowds want to be as close to the action as is safely possible. And from this perspective, the dives seem more death-defying than from any other. From rookie to series leader, Rhiannon has a lot of expectation on her shoulders. Remember, she won her first round. In the next round, she is placed second.
What a supreme entry!
And is now 11 points behind the leading diver. Now it all comes down to this 3-second dive. This is Rhiannon's final chance to take back the lead. And of course, she could bomb it completely. Showing her competitive grit, Rhiannon's final dive, in fact, wins the round.
I take it you're happy. Just a bit, just a tiny bit.
But her overall points fall just short, putting her in second place.
98.90.
I feel like crying.
Yeah.
With happiness, I hope.
Yes, of course.
What's making you emotional?
She's my daughter.
Peter and Sharon's daughter is still the series leader. Ranked the #1 female cliff diver in the world. An achievement really beyond anyone's expectations.
You enjoyed the whole stuff. No, it was so good.
It was a wonderful, wonderful effort.
Yeah.
In a sport where your next dive could well be your last, Rhiannon keeps aiming high. Now in Wales to compete, and then on to Bosnia, this is a girl seeing the world from dizzying heights, aware of, but unconcerned by, all the risks.
A lot of people have ankle problems, knee problems, back problems, adductors, groin problems, neck. So I guess everything.
Do you think it's worth it?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way at the moment.
You're just going to keep flying.
I am. Flying high.
Now here's a story with something for everyone. It's an epic adventure, an outback romance. There's courage and endurance, a few laughs, a few tears. And at the heart of it all, 2 unlikely lovers. A knockabout Aussie bushman and an English rose. But against all the odds, together they made history. They became the first couple to ride right across Australia on horseback. Broome to Cairns, 150 days, 3,500 kilometres of heat and dust, impenetrable scrub, and endless red desert. Phew, and as Peter Harvey discovered, that's just the start of it.
First of all, most of all, this is a love story. A story about a deep passion for wild places and the animals that roam there. A story about a love of adventure and challenge. But at its heart, it's fundamentally a story about two people who, despite, or perhaps because of, backgrounds as different as the sun and the moon, found love for each other.
Those eyes got me into trouble, those big blue eyes. Just fun. We have so much fun together. You know, he's my friend, best friend as well, so I think we make a great team.
That team, Englishwoman Anna Hingley and top-end bushman John Ostwald, have become the first couple in recorded history to cross Australia on horseback.
It's all still rough dirt road, lots of creeks and rivers.
150 days in the saddle. From Broome in the west, 3,500 kilometres across some of the world's most difficult terrain, to Cairns in the tropical north.
Long lead, long. Jump up there. Keep going. I'd sort of had the idea to ride across Australia for a very long time before I met her. I love history. I'm very interested in where we come from as Australians. I obviously wanted to conquer Australia, to ride across the country, just because I've got pioneering background.
For this English Rose, it's a step into the unknown.
I was at home and I had a great family and a real comfortable lifestyle, but I really felt like I needed to change and some experiences and adventure.
And this is where it all began.
I really liked the fact that it's so rough but just so beautiful at the same time.
Anna, a 24-year-old veterinary nurse from the green and gentle Midlands of England, met Jono 2 years ago when she arrived for a backpacking holiday. He was to be her guide. Who was chasing who? You after him? Eh? Were you?
You just know when you meet someone and get
do.
a feeling and...
You know when it's happening, don't you?
It's happening.
Yeah. I didn't think I was going to see him again. Really?
So how early in the relationship were you hooked?
I think about 4 hours. Yeah. About 4 hours.
Hooked enough to ask the big question. Would she come with him on the ride of a lifetime?
It's all good to do something by yourself, but if you do it with a partner, with a soulmate, it's an amazing bond and it's an amazing memory.
But first came the big test, introducing Anna to Jono's best friend, Gav.
Gav likes her, so that's a good start.
Gav is?
The horse.
The horse?
Yeah. She connected with the horse and I thought, oh, gee, she looks good on that horse. It looks really, really good.
Right.
Let's go.
And so they could begin, at Broome, on the far side of the continent. Anna's sense of adventure and love for Jono sweeping her into what had turned out to be the world's longest and toughest fundraiser, promoting Angel Flight, which helps outback patients and their families.
We've done 10.
Oh, probably another 15 k's, I reckon.
Yeah.
Early on in the ride, it was very, very difficult for both of us.
From the first day came fierce challenges. Difficult terrain,
Steady.
sweltering temperatures, rough going for all.
When you get to the bottom, you might have to look out because they might have to jump a bit. You've got the unexpected coming. You don't know what's over the hill. And there was high tension. It was very, very hot. I wasn't sleeping. You've got horses in the wild in different areas every night. So basically I had one eye open all night. So I was very tense.
Toughest with a river crossing.
I'm not complaining or anything.
You never do that.
Which had to be cleared for the backup truck. And there was always another river ahead.
A workout video for women of life.
Always full of crocodiles.
These horses know a lot about crocodiles. But you have to have a huge amount of faith within your horse and within each other.
Sometimes, in soaring temperatures, being in the river was a blessing. There you are, washing her hair in what's clearly freezing cold water, and I presume there are also crocs there.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
How does that make you feel?
That's fine. I have absolutely no problem with crocodiles. I mean,
what about her?
She's fine. She trusts me. She trusts me 100%.
I really do trust John, and he's explaining when they come out and what they prefer in the water, so I just trusted him.
They tend to prefer people in the water quite often.
I've heard so, but luckily I didn't experience anything. Stop.
You there? How far?
Little bit to the left, little bit.
Okay, that's good.
How far's a little bit to the left?
Like any couple, they had their moments.
You want me to come back and do it for you?
Arguments over the simplest and silliest things.
It fell out.
Come up here and get on the radio. Come here.
When you have an argument, there's nowhere to go, where you're going to go. So yeah, some days John would ride in front and I'd ride behind, and we'd have our quiet days. But as long as at the end of the day you make up, because I believe making up was, that's the most important part about our trip. How's the shoulder feeling today?
They're a bit tight. That's tight.
Want a bit of a rub? Yeah, not too bad.
A bit numb?
Yeah. I have to give him a squeeze, get a bit of blood flow back in
That was probably the most affectionate thing you do, because your bum gets absolutely numb.
And give it a squeeze. Give it a slap even.
Yeah. Just watch him down this bit.
Yeah.
A bit loose here.
Good boy, come on. Yeah, he's doing alright.
Yeah, look at him. He's like a cat.
Not
Mr.
much
Careful.
of this trip was easy for them or their horses. All too often, everybody was on foot.
No, he's got a stone.
Is he? You better get that one
Haven't
out.
got your thing, have you?
No. There, you got him?
Yeah.
Good boy.
No iron shoes for these tough brumbies.
Want a head collar for Gabby?
6 of them on the trip, taking turns for a break in the backup truck. But there were no breaks for Jono and Anna, riding up to 10 hours a day, and always putting the horses first.
Another day done?
Do it, yeah, finished.
That's, how many Ks a day?
I think it was 47.
Well, that's 47 less. What did your dad say? Every step is a step closer.
Come out up here.
No normal horse could have made this journey. These are brumbies, in their element, out in the wild country. And that's exactly where they came from, up here on the floodplains of the Mary River.
I think we got about 65.
Yeah, I think I counted about. They all look really fit and healthy, don't they? So it's
I'll
good.
be ready for the ride, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
These horses are not normal horses, they're brumbies. And they're smart.
They're in!
Jono has spent his whole life working with horses.
I like the bay one here.
Yep.
Ooh.
We don't want you broken. Cut it out.
Steady now.
He brought us back here to see his remarkable skill in transforming these wild creatures into willing companions.
Cut it out, you pair.
Jono doesn't break horses. There's no harshness here, just great patience and gentle whispers. Oh, God, I mean, that's pretty dangerous, isn't it? Doesn't it worry you when things like that happen?
Oh, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I've got full trust in him.
I mean, there aren't many people who can do that sort of thing, are there?
I don't think so. I've never seen anybody work like John.
Good boy.
So, pretty special.
Is that one of the reasons why you love him? Because he's special with horses?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of reasons, obviously, but and I admire him a lot for what he does.
90 minutes is all it takes to bring this unruly, nervous beast to this.
How is that possible?
The secret is not to hurt them. Not to hurt them, yeah. If a horse goes through pain, he'll never forget that. No.
So it's love?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yep. Kindness. So we've eventually got to head, we'll be right, see that other range over there?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
That'll be the next one. I think we go down this way.
Yeah, it's just so nice though, isn't it? It just goes on forever.
You're too heavy, so we'll just chuck another one up.
Yeah. What's her name? Dolly. Dolly, I forgot it.
For Anna, one of the great moments of the trip was this encounter at an outback school. A young girl with cerebral palsy.
They put her up on Dolly and she lifted her head up and she gave out the biggest smile.
Each time we put the horses, we move
Just like Anna's own twin sister Abby, back in England.
Do-ma-ding, do-ma-gee.
Confined to her wheelchair, Abby, with their mother Marlene, has been following Anna's trek step by step across the country and occasionally sharing a much-anticipated sisterly chat by phone.
Hello. Hello, is that Abby? She's the most beautiful person you meet.
I am so proud of you.
Proud of you too, Abs. She never complains. She never says anything horrible like, why can't I go here? Why can't I do this? Never. She says I inspire her, but then she inspires me for just the kind of person she is.
I miss you loads.
Love you lots. Bye. Bye.
Come on, it's all emotional, I know. Come on. Oh.
I wanted to do it, but I couldn't do it. I wish I was there.
Out there, on the road, Anna and Jono take comfort in the kindness of strangers.
With her blonde hair shining in the bright sunlight.
A sandwich and a song with a passing colour.
Grabbed my hand so her dad could see, and I said, I love this girl and this girl loves me.
So quiet, isn't it? It's just nice having no one around.
Or sometimes just the quiet moments alone.
Tomorrow, what time are we off?
Bit up past 6, I think.
At last, the end is in sight.
That's it. There she is.
Eventually, after almost half a year, Cairns, the end of the ride. And what a ride. Deserts, scorching heat, raging rivers, crocodiles and all. Worth a good lie down.
I must admit, there was a part of me that was really sad because I didn't want it to end. I wanted to keep going almost, and because it had been so wonderful.
The adventure and the romance are very far from being over. They're seriously thinking about riding across South America and South Africa.
Bring it on. I'm ready already. Let's get on a plane, catch some horses and go.
Somewhere out on the back blocks of Australia's red centre, there's a cloud of dust created by a battered old 1979 Toyota Land Cruiser called Alice. Behind the wheel is a wonderful young woman, Edwina Robertson, and next to her, her Bitzer dog, Geordie. The three of them are on a mission to discover Australia and to bridge that great divide between the city and the bush. Edwina, Eddie as she's known, doesn't have any money, so she's funding her journey by trading her skills as a professional photographer with bush families in return for hospitality and a bit of fuel for Alice. It's such a simple yet glorious adventure, I just had to go along for the ride.
I've been everywhere.
Well, I was humping my bluey on the dusty Oodnadatta Road.
Edwina, where have you been?
Oh, God. Okay, so Drillham, Cunnamulla, Quilpie, Junda, Batuta, Birdsville,
Do you hear the
Cloncurry.
music? Do you hear some music, Sam?
Man of travel, I've had my share, man, I've been everywhere. Been to Tullamore, Seymour, Lismore, Malulaban, Nambour, Roochdale.
I have no idea where we are now, but Edwina Robertson has probably been here before. She's been everywhere, man.
I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts, man.
Hardo Station, Exmouth, Onslow, York,
Started wish I hadn't asked. Take it away, lucky star.
Warburton, Uluru, and now we're back in
Elstone. I'm the fella who's been everywhere, man.
It's called Wander of the West, and it's wandering because I don't actually know what I'm doing.
You're a kind of a modern-day swaggy or a tinker or a minstrel.
A minstrel?
You'll sing for your supper, but
Yeah.
you're taking
I'll
photos.
wash dishes for my supper. I'll do whatever I can.
Eddie is on an odyssey across country Australia. Rattling along in her outback chariot named Alice. The trip of a lifetime through diverse and captivating landscapes and, remarkably, without spending a cent.
I'm bartering my services as a photographer to people who would never ever have the experience or the money even to potentially pay for a professional photographer to come to their station and take photos of their family. In return for a night's accommodation, a bit of grub and some fuel to keep me going.
Are you happy?
I think he's pretty happy. He wants a pat.
A swaggy's best mate has always been the dog.
Jody, back. Quick, hop over.
So, along with Eddie and Alice, you also get Geordie.
Good boy. Good boy, sit down.
Dogs and children, never work with them.
Sit down, good boy, stay there.
I'd like to know whether you feel entirely safe out here.
You know, I know the rules to travelling out back. If you break down, don't leave your car. Have a GPS tracker, have a satellite phone, let people know where you're going.
I'm sure your mum's happy to hear that.
I hope so.
And the other rule is don't take that turn off to Wolf Creek.
Yes!
Happiest Friday from Tottenham in the centre of New South Wales.
This walkabout has a modern twist. The Bush Telegraph has gone digital.
So I'm looking for any stations between Karratha and Carnarvon. I'll take some photos for you today.
When Eddie gets reception, she posts online.
She's flat, no doubt about that at all. So I've just felt the ramifications of travelling around Australia with no money.
She beams videos of her adventures back to the big smoke.
Today is day 65 on the road with my first injury.
At one point, the trip nearly came to a crashing halt when Eddie rolled Alice.
Yeah, it was a little bit scary, but you know what? This is all part of the adventure.
It's a glimpse of life on the land.
Thank you very much, Bede. It's something I just wanted to do, and quite frankly, I probably needed to do it.
Eddie's own story is about a girl who needed to get lost in the middle of nowhere in order to find herself.
I've had depression several times, and literally 3 weeks before the day before I left on this journey, I was hospitalised. I call it my mental breakdown.
Really?
I'd pushed myself to a point, you know, always about the money, always about working harder, keeping up with the Joneses. And I've got a great business. My everyday business is a wedding photographer, but I had just
Really?
burnt out, and I didn't even know who I was. We don't allow ourselves to have time off and really connect with the land and where we're from in our own backyard.
We've arrived at the spectacular Hearts Range east of Alice Springs. Well, there's plenty of action this weekend. From country races to the rodeo.
Show jumping cowboy.
Fantastic, keep walking, nice and slowly.
Eddie has come here to photograph the Cadzo children, Gabby, Bridget and Imogen, who are competing in the camp draft.
Fantastic. Oh, they've all got their ears forward.
Weeks ago, when she rolled the four-wheel drive, Eddie hitched a ride with their mum Beck. Now she's back to return the favour.
Beautiful.
She's a connection between the bush and the city, isn't she? Which is what we need.
I think it's probably more than what we need. I think it's a survival now for the bush, for the city to know just what we're like.
And you're pleased with her photos?
We've never had family photos like that before. We live 200 k's from the nearest town. Just to get a plumber is an issue, let alone a photographer. So we're pretty fortunate, yeah.
Eddie hopes the photos from her trip will encourage city slickers to head way out beyond the black stump.
Everyone had their ears forward, even champagne. Oh, really?
And share a cuppa with people like Beck.
Just go on a dirt road for 20 k's. Just get out of the car and look at the stars and take in the fresh air and enjoy it. Because I think you've got to kind of push yourself a little bit if you're ever going to experience it. And you know, all these beautiful resorts and B&Bs in the country. Oh, don't get me wrong, they're lovely, but that's not real bush.
It's not the bush.
No.
I love it when you talk like this, because you love it, don't you?
I do. I'm so passionate about it. I want to be a voice for the bush. I want to give back to the people who give so much to the rest of Australia and are forgotten about. You know, they don't have medical service on their back doorstep. They don't have great education. You know, they pay expensive bills for crappy internet. It does my head in. It's unfair. They pay the same taxes as everyone else and the cost of living in the bush is so expensive.
The spirit of the bush has breathed new life into this wanderer.
Hello, welcome. Sophie, lovely to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Eddie has been warmly welcomed into the homes of families across Australia.
And I saw that you were doing this big trip and kind of just followed you all the way. And I went, oh, she's looking for a place to stay around Tamworth.
Clearly, farmers like the Uren family have enjoyed having a new face at their kitchen table.
Cheers. Cheers. Welcome.
Yes, welcome. Thanks for having me. Lovely to meet you all.
Now that you're so up, it's hard to believe you were ever down.
Yeah.
Now got to ask the personal question,
Yep.
What are you on?
The bush has saved me in more ways than one. I've been planning for this trip for 2 years and I've had some times where I'm like, why am I doing this? You know, you all do, but without risk there's no reward, Wooly, is there?
That's true.
Big smiles. The experience and the warmth and the hospitality and the friendship of these bush people is something I will forever hold in my heart. Who's got sore teeth? I'm a new person. I've never been so happy. It's amazing. It's been amazing.
Back in deepest Whoop Whoop, we make a pit stop. This is when they built them solidly. She is a beauty.
She is. I do love Alice.
And take time to inspect Alice, the trusty 1979 Toyota Land Cruiser purchased on eBay. Battery's good?
Battery's good, but yeah, the alternator seems to have gone at the moment, so...
Seems to have gone?
Yes.
We'll switch the engine.
Yes, I know, so I might have to do a roll down the hill.
So I push you and you do a jump start?
Yeah, we'll try that.
Okay. Am I going to be able to push this? Some blokes find a girl who can do everything slightly intimidating. But not me. I just do what I'm told.
Okay. Thanks, mate. Let's go.
That would have been awkward if it hadn't started. All right, wait for me. Out at the ranges, it becomes clear that it's not just the bush that's stolen Eddie's heart.
I did come on this trip as a single woman, and I may or may not have found my own rigger from the top end.
She met a bloke named Tyler while taking photos at a station up north. So, this is a girl?
This is the girl, Edwina, the one that strolled into my camp. Actually thought it was some backpackers, but it's a nice Aussie lady. Jumped out with a dog. I think most of the connection was between me and Geordie at the time.
So you like the dog and then the affection for the girl followed?
Yeah, it definitely did.
I did arrive and I thought, oh, geez, he's a bit of a good looker. No, it's pretty special, I think. Pretty, I guess, pretty unexpected as well.
But Eddie's a girl who just can't stay still. And I suspect her true love will always be the outback. And I take comfort in just knowing that she's out there somewhere under a cloud of dust on the world's biggest horizon. We'd like to be there, even though we're not.
Yes. As much as they'd like to be there, they should be there. I don't know anyone who's lived or spent a decent amount of time in the bush that doesn't miss it. And once it gets into your blood, it does not leave. It's like that. It's the best drug in the world.
You are a remarkable person, and I actually feel better for having spent time with you.
Oh, thank you.
I don't say that very often to my subjects.
That's very kind.
Close your eyes and cast your mind back to another time. A simpler age when the dream holiday destination for many Australians was a tropical island on the Great Barrier Reef. Think Dunk, Great Keppel, South Mole and Hayman, and think of swaying palm trees, frolicking families and loved-up honeymooners. There was nothing better. But then, a few years ago, there was quite literally a sea change. A mix of climate change, low-cost airlines, and our indulgent obsession for selfies in far-flung parts of the world saw the sun set on the local attractions. Today, 15 of the 30 resorts on and off the Queensland coast are closed, silent and decaying shells of their former glory. But can they be saved? There are few sights more stunning than Australia's Whitsundays. Mile after mile of pristine beach, islands untouched by civilization. The reef and its resorts are our international calling card. Which is why there are few sights more shocking than this. It's Paradise Lost.
Welcome aboard South Mole Island Resort.
I'm on day one of a week-long island stocktake. First stop, South Mole Island.
So many people came here and want to come back.
My guide is local skipper and 35-year Whitsunday resident, Dan Van Blaken. A refugee from the frozen wastes of Canada, Dan remembers the good old days on South Mole.
Well, it's not looking real flash, is it?
No, she's seen better days, that's for sure.
And I don't know where I'm staying, but I don't like the look of your room.
Yeah, it looks like a crack house.
A holiday here was once every Australian's dream.
Reef trips, fishing, mountain walks, pictures and dances help you have the holiday of a lifetime on South Mole.
Certainly in its day, South Mole Island was a fixture of glossy Whitsundays tourism.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
In the 60s and 70s, it was the height of tropical island chic. But for 2 years now, it's been an abandoned wreck. Smashed by Cyclone Debbie in 2017, bought soon after by a Chinese company, and then left to rot.
So you can really see the devastation here.
This would have been the centre of the place.
And there are people in Australia right now that would have wonderful memories of South Mole Resort and the other Whitsunday Islands as well.
And they're watching this and seeing...
They're watching this and they're seeing this here and they're going, oh, we went on our honeymoon there. We took our kids there. You know, we had a lot of fun there. And to see this is terrible.
There are 30 resorts on and off the coast of Queensland. Currently, 15 of them are closed after they copped a battering in Cyclone Yasi back in 2011 and Debbie a few years later. Only some of them, like Hamilton Island, were rebuilt and reopened. But many more islands have been lying dormant for almost a decade with no sign of recovery. Lindeman Island's Club Med Resort once echoed with fun and laughter. Clearly, it's been a long time between drinks.
Welcome to Club Med, Lindeman Island. You're about 9 years too late, and the bar is shut, but let's have a look around. Well, the door's open. Come with me. Understand they had shows here every night. Been a long time. Nothing's happened.
The party's over. It's time to call it a day. They've burst your pretty balloon and taken the moon away.
These places were quite often built because there was a maverick element and not too much regulation. Are we over-regulated now?
I think it's a big part of it. Like Keith Williams came up here and built Hamilton Island. It was a kind of a dream he had, and I'm sure we're over-regulated. Keith would have a vision, and he would just go and do it.
They said you'd never make it when you dreamed of paradise.
Hamilton Island was built in the days when former Queensland Premier Joe Bjelke-Petersen ruled the Sunshine State. And entrepreneurs like Keith Williams were limited only by the size of their checkbooks and their egos.
Made for you, this one's made for you. You've made it through, and this one's made for you.
So at the peak of the season, how many people will be on this island?
Probably between 5,000 and 6,000 people.
These days, Hamilton remains a successful business, managed by former Olympic sailor Glenn Burke, who faces the fierce headwinds of Asia-Pacific competition.
So many Australians go to Fiji, Bali, Thailand, because places like that are cheaper. Have we priced ourselves out of a market here?
I think we need to be competitive, and we don't think just domestically, we think internationally as well. You have to watch every dollar in an island resort.
Give me a comparison. The bloke that serves my dinner in Fiji, puts it on my table, and the person that does it here, what's the differential there?
Let's say it's between a quarter to a sixth. So 6 people for one here.
We've saved you a spot on the beach.
Do you remember back in 2006, Tourism Australia decided to do something about the empty beaches of Australia? They spent a lot of money on a campaign which didn't really work.
So where the bloody hell are you?
Well, as you can see, 13 years later, not a lot has changed. What should change is that question. It shouldn't be, where the bloody hell are you? Given the destruction of the resorts, it should be, where the bloody hell are you going to stay?
Of all our island resorts, there is none more beautiful, more peaceful or secluded than Badara, just south of Cairns. It's a glowing example of what's still possible. Bought just after Cyclone Yasi by husband and wife team Sam and Kerry-Ann Charlton, Badara has been transformed from a cyclone-ravaged wreck into a tidy little upmarket business.
My sources are telling me that you people are doing very well on a simple formula of less people who pay more. So why is it that there is 15 resorts out there that are still in wreckage?
They're absolutely stunning, and it's so sad that there are a large volume of them that haven't reopened.
It's a disgrace, really, isn't it?
It is.
It is a disgrace. And Sam and I often get the comment, oh, you must be pleased that, there's not many opening. No, we want them open. We want everyone to experience, not just the Great Barrier Reef, but what we have to offer. And seeing them not open, it's actually just really sad.
I've heard complaints, insurance companies are overcharging, the banks aren't very supportive, and government is doing nothing.
Yeah, financing's interesting. Insurance is difficult. You're spot on there.
Is climate change a factor for the insurance companies, do you think?
I think perception of climate change, particularly for insurers, I think they sort of base a lot of risk, in their models on perception of climate change.
What does it mean for local businesses and the local economy on the mainland? Do you still live off those 16 resorts?
It's huge.
Yeah, particularly, Dunk Island was the biggest driver of the Mission Beach economy. And since Dunk has closed, it's never really recovered.
Its beaches are pure and white, but it's not the Virgin Islands. Its natives are black, but it's not Samoa. It's over the seas, but it isn't far away. It's Dunk Island.
Back in the day, there was no destination more glamorous than Dunk. It's a glamour that has long since faded.
Welcome to Dunk Island, Charlie.
It's fabulous. It's love at first sight.
Hopefully someone buys it and turns it into the next Qualia.
The optimist who might revitalise the Dunk Island economy is Tom Gibson. He's a commercial estate agent who specialises in selling hotels, resorts and islands.
Isn't it amazing that no one's here?
Well, mate, it's the absurd thing, isn't it? There's a fantastic view out there, there's a swimming pool over there, it should be full of people. Now that is magnificent, isn't it? That's what you're paying for.
This was the old main swimming pool.
And the emblem, of course, was the blue butterfly.
Exactly.
Right now, Tom's spruiking Dunk Island to a range of local and international investors.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for someone to see the upside in Dunk Island. It's a jewel in the crown of Australian tourism.
Admittedly, it's an unpolished jewel, having lain untouched since Cyclone Yasi swept through 8 years ago. Dunk Island might be pitched as, well, a renovator's delight.
It certainly wrecked the accommodation, didn't it?
It sure did.
Tell me what happened on the day.
2011, Cyclone Yasi came through and destroyed Dunk Island Resort.
How deep was the sand?
The sand came through up to about the knee.
Is it a hard sell? Because you cannot guarantee it won't happen again. In fact, we know that it does.
People travel to islands with the knowledge that there could always be a cyclone. I mean, look across the world. It's a common threat.
It must break your heart to leave.
Oh, it'll be a sad day, but you have to divorce yourself from emotion sometimes and make hard business decisions.
At Dunk Island's empty bar, I meet the owner of this island paradise, Adam Bond. His father bought Dunk for $7.5 million after Cyclone Yasi. Now he's trying to offload it, hopefully for about 3 times that. So it was hardly worth asking.
Why are you selling?
I mean, as with any business, I mean, there's challenges. Of course there is. And to pretend they don't exist and pretend that islands aren't potentially fraught assets and difficult businesses to manage would be, denying the truth. They have challenges, but the reality is they also present amazing opportunities, and a lot of people have made a lot of money out of these assets in the past, and a lot of people will make a lot of money in the future.
Which is exactly what our happy operators have done on beautiful Badara. It's a good place to finish this island journey. After all the loss and decay, here at last is a case of paradise restored. The Charltons are infectiously happy. Like everyone who visits, I think I might stay a little longer.
When you have a moment to yourself, as I've had here and wandered around the place, how do you feel about the joint?
We still, after all this time, if Sammy and I get the chance to have dinner on our own and we're sitting here and it's just this you've had this incredible day and you can hear the guests are all happy, and we still sort of whack each other on the arm and go, like, this is ours, we did this, and it's still not real.